Now joining us, good buddy of mine, Justin O'Leary, the head golf professional at St. George's Golf and Country Club. Jo, welcome back to GTC.
It's great to be here. Thanks for having me. It's been a little while, and it's hard to believe it's the end of the season almost. It's crazy times.
It really is crazy times. Now, for you, you came over from Cedar Brae. So, overall, how has season one been for you at St. George's?
I would say has exceeded expectations in every possible way. The place is, as we've talked about earlier, it's one of those properties that when you pull into the driveway, you just know you're somewhere special. And whether it's not even just the golf, but the clubhouse itself, the history in the building. I mean, the food and beverage is amazing, but then you go through the tunnel and you're out in the golf course, and you just know it's something special. So it's feel very very privileged to be the head pro here, and year one's been has been amazing.
Oh, that's amazing, dude. Now, in terms of the golf course itself, for someone who hasn't played it before, how would you describe the golf course?
Well, that was kind of me when I started this year. I played it twice, but it was
Hmm.
literally twice over like 15 years. And one of them was the Monday after the Open in 22. So that doesn't even count because that was crazy.
Yeah.
The golf course is, I don't know how to explain it in one. It's just awesome. It really is awesome. It takes you so long to kind of get the little intricacies, and some local knowledge goes a long way. And even now, I mean, maybe I've played 20 or 25 rounds this year, but I'll look at putts still, specifically on the 14th green. I'll be with a member that's been here since 1965, and he'll say it's going to break left, and I've been here since last year. And I'm like, no, that can't be right. Well, obviously it is right. I don't listen to him. I lose it. And I miss the putt. But there's just so many cool little features like that typical in a Stanley Thompson design that are just very very small but very important to know.
Is there a signature hole at St. George's?
Wow, that's a good question. I mean, every time I play with a different group of members, I ask them what their favorite hole is. And if I've asked that question 20 times, I bet I've gotten 15 different answers. The ones that jump to mind right away: number three, the par three. It hits down into like a little bowl of a green. It's a very diabolical green. It's pretty awesome. What a lot of people don't know is that our original owner, Home Smith's house, is just above the third green. So that's kind of a little history thing. And the other one that jumps to mind has to be number 18, when you're coming up the 18th fairway and you see the iconic clubhouse in the background. So those two jump to mind, but they're all so good. There's not a weak hole on the golf course.
Yeah, that's for sure. And many people tuning into this will remember Rory McIlroy walking up the 18th fairway back in 2022, and the mob of fans that were shortly thereafter. That 18th hole is certainly awesome. Now, Jo, you mentioned the greens. Now, there was a greens reconstruction 10 years ago now. Tom Doak, Ian Andrew. How would you describe the greens overall at St. George?
Well, they're lightning. They, as I've mentioned already, some local knowledge goes a long way. They're one of those the greens that, if you hit it on the green, your job is not done. You need to hit it in the right part of the green, depending on where the pin is. You need to know where to miss it. Uh, as I mentioned earlier to you off camera, I think some of our greens during our member events, we'll get them rolling 12 and a half, even 13 on the stem, which is insane. It is very, very diabolical. So you can have a lot of fun out there. I would say they're a love-hate relationship. Yeah, there's a lot of times where you might have a 20 or 30-yard pitch shot, but you can't actually shoot directly at the pin because of where it might be located. It keeps you on your toes for sure.
It certainly does, yeah. And it's always one of the top rated golf courses in Canada. And I know you're just wrapping up your first season at St. George's, but what's it like for you and the membership seeing St. George's as highly rated as it always is on an annual basis?
Well, I would say of all the properties I've either visited or have the privilege to work at, St. George's, amongst the membership, has the most passion for the property. So it's always in the one, two, three, four range, and being ranked that high in this country is amazing. There's so much good golf in Canada, as we both know. But the members do take a lot of pride in it. I have the privilege of hosting a lot of raiders when they come and play to show them around the property. And more often than not, I'll be approached by a member after that round. What did they think? What did they like? What did they not like? So it's really neat to be a part of that. I've been at clubs where they don't want raiders here. They don't want anyone to see the property. But St. George's, it's almost a property that to some extent needs to be shared with the Canadian golf world because it is such an iconic place.
It certainly is, and that's a really good way to put it. Now, there's the golf side of this, obviously. It's also a country club. Tell our audience about some of the amenities that are around at St. George's.
Well, there is a very strong golf theme. So in the off season, we switch over to our indoor center where we have 6 TrackMan hitting bays, a putting green, and of course, being 2024, a pickleball court. Everyone has to have a pickleball court these days, so we kind of convert that inside, and that's busy. It's very, very busy. But we don't have tennis courts, we don't have swimming pools. It is just a very golf themed membership, so which is great. I mean, the clubhouse, if you've been here, it's iconic from the pictures that you've seen. But when you walk the hallways and just kind of absorb all the history in the clubhouse, there's so many different. When Sam Snead was here, when Jack Nicklaus was here, when past presidents have been here, it's pretty awesome. I haven't done it all, but you can spend a lot of time in that clubhouse just absorbing the history.
And a lot of different courses now in the GTA, and I'm sure other places in Canada too, are adding the TrackMan simulators because we can't play golf outside here in Toronto for sure in the winter. But what have you heard about like how busy are the simulators come January, February at St. George?
Well, ours kick off literally. We're going to close this year the second Sunday of November. We give the team a little time to catch their breath, and then we'll open the last week of November. So we don't even get to December before we get going, and it's busy. It's busy. We'll have probably 100 members make use of it. A large
Wow.
percentage of our members do go south, but we do
Mhm.
have obviously some that stay. We run very strong junior program in the wintertime, which is a weekly thing where we have about 40 kids participate. And then new this year, we're going to introduce some ladies programming kind of through the winter months. And
Nice.
it what really cracks me up about the simulator golf in the wintertime is that they literally have, I don't know, 50 courses, 60 courses to choose from around the world to play. But St. George's is one of them. And more often than not, they're playing St. George's in the wintertime, which is kind of neat.
There's so many options. I mean, St. George's, obviously, it's world-class golf course, but there's so many options on TrackMan. I agree. Oh, it's
Absolutely.
great.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's amazing that St. George's has the six TrackMan simulators. That's for sure. Now, people watching this, people listening to this, they hear St. George's and they think RBC Canadian Open the last time when Rory McIlroy won. What do you think makes St. George's such a great golf course to host events like it has in the past, like the RBC Canadian Open?
Well, I think it's probably a location for one, first and foremost.
Yeah.
It's located near the core of Toronto, which for branding and for RBC and sponsors, it's ideal. But I had the fortune to play the Wednesday Pro Am this year in Hamilton, and some of the players saw my bag, saw the dragon on my bag, which is our logo, and we're all about when are we going back there? What's like that place? We love that place, and I think whether you're a tour player or whether you're a 25 handicap, you know a good golf course when you play a good golf course. It rewards a good shot. There's a lot of history, just the topography, the way the land flows. It's just an awesome golf course, which is what the best players in the world, they just love it. They love it for sure. So I think that's probably what separates it from a lot of places. Just it's so good.
That's very well said. Now, as we wrap here, Jo, for you more on a personal level, you've just wrapped up year one at St. George's. How much are you looking forward to grow and evolve as a head pro at one of the most storied golf courses in all of North America?
Well, as I said, it's one of these places that every day I pull in here, I know I'm very, very fortunate to be the head pro at St. George's. It's pretty awesome. One thing I noticed, I had been at my previous property, Cedar Brae Golf Club, as the head pro for 10 years. And after 10 years, you know everybody's name, you know their nickname, you know their grandkids, you know everything, you know how everything runs. So it was kind of a bit of a shock to the system to start all over again and to learn people's names and how I didn't know how the men's or ladies opening field days ran. So I'm super excited to kind of have a winter of actual planning now instead of learning to kind of know what to expect and kind of, there's always tweaks that can be made. And then I'm very excited about the culture we're kind of creating here, kind of with my fellow pros that are on staff here and kind of creating a culture of learning and helping develop head pros that are going to move on out into the industry, kind of coast to coast in Canada. So that's kind of what really excites me, those two things.
Well, it's been a great first year for you, and I know you're pumped for year two and beyond at St. George's, one of the great properties in all of Canada. Jo, thanks so much for your time today. Really appreciate it, my man. Enjoy the winter, and we'll talk to you again come springtime.
Awesome. Thanks for having me. Look forward to it.